A Connecticut man's been arrested for the alleged assault of a Border Patrol officer we told you about last month. Today, 29-year-old Devin Bishop of Manchester was arrested and charged with assaulting a federal officer and failing to report his arrival in the country. The incident happened on February 22nd. The complaint alleges Bishop sped across the bridge from Campobello Island into U.S. territory. A CBP officer began a pursuit as the car allegedly driven by Bishop veered into the outbound lane traveling into Lubec. According to the DOJ, when Bishop got out of the car, he forcibly assaulted the officer who was trying to arrest him and tried to grab the officer's firearm. The firearm discharged during the struggle, but nobody was hit.